Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today I do not have a movie review. This isn't a movie review, not a DVD review, not a television review at all, though it is similar to a review, and that is for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 game by the name of Resident Evil 6. I'm going to do my first impression video, and that just pretty much means it's not a review, but I'm going to give you my impressions on the this is my first time ever playing the Resident Evil 6 game. I am familiar with previous games in the franchise. I played the new reamped version of the GameCube version of the first Resident Evil game, and I've also played Resident Evil 5, and now I'm glad to say that I have played Resident Evil 6, the most recent game in the Resident Evil zombie game franchise. Now, I have to say first of all that this game is absolutely amazing. It's phenomenal in every way that is humanly possible. I really enjoyed my experience with this game. I just finished the first chapter in the campaign mode. You know, there's 3 different campaigns. There's, I think, some guy named Bane, Chris, and then Leon. And I picked Leon S. Kennedy's campaign, and I really enjoyed it. I'm only on the second chapter. Like I said, this is a first impression video, so I'm just going to talk about my first few thoughts on the game. And I'm going to talk about 3 essential things, and that is the graphics of the game, the overall gameplay, which is the biggest factor, and then, of course, the story of Resident Evil 6, the game. So you guys know, I do play Resident Evil 6 on my Xbox 360, so that'll be the overall experience I'll be talking about, though I think that the gameplay between the two doesn't really matter. The graphics might between the PS3 and the Xbox 360, but overall, it's the same game on both systems. So first off, let me talk to you a little about the starting of Resident Evil 6. Like I said, 3 campaign modes, and let me talk about some of the huge changes they make with the Resident Evil franchise from Resident Evil 5 to Resident Evil 6. First off is hugging walls. You hold left trigger now, and you can finally get up against walls. You couldn't do this in Resident Evil 5, so this is a huge and very well needed improvement on the Resident Evil franchise. You can finally hug walls, so I'm glad for Capcom and the creators of Resident Evil 6. I'm glad they finally allowed you to do that. You can also now run, like full speed sprints, just like run down alleyways and streets and through the sewers, through the subway tracks and stuff like that. You can now full-on run, which comes in handy very, very often in Resident Evil 6, the game. It comes in handy a lot having a full-speed run. The game's a lot more faster-paced now. Resident Evil 5 was faster-paced, but I would have to say Resident Evil 6, I guess in lack of better terms, not to sound cliche or anything, but the game is very cinematic. And by cinematic, I mean you feel like you're playing through a movie or something. You know, I love that about it. You know, you'll just be walking, all of a sudden a car will come at you. You know, in Leon's specific campaign, you're helping out through the first 2 chapters. You've been helping out survivors. Like you start off in a house and you're helping out a survivor, and the survivor ends up getting turned into a zombie later on as you go up the elevator. And then you get in a car, and the car gets overrun by zombies. You end up having to go through the sewers, and then you escape out of the sewers into a city and end up holding yourself down in what looks like a small kind of bar or a convenience store house of some kind. And there's also other survivors in there with you. We also have some new zombies. Like I said, I'm only on chapter 2 currently of Leon S. Kennedy's campaign, so I don't know too much. But some of the new zombies we have is the big fat ones. They're like huge. They kind of remind me of boomers from the Left 4 Dead franchise. Kind of like boomers. They don't really explode like boomers, but they have that kind of look. But I would say they're more massive than the boomers in the Left 4 Dead franchise. Those boomers are pretty cool. And then there's these creatures that they scream, and the zombies that scream, and it hurts your ears, and it hurts the character girlfriend that you walk around with in the game, your partner. If you're in 2-player mode, that's who you would be. Those characters that scream, you have to shoot the little bubbles on their necks to kill them, and then after you shoot at them, they get on their knees and they're still alive, and you have to keep shooting the orange little orb, I guess, on their neck. And then the other kind of zombie that is different is it's like this fleshy, scaly, they got these real long teeth, and they got these kind of long legs and long arms, and they're kind of long. They're not massive, but I would say they're kind of scaly and really flesh-like looking. And the thing they reminded me of, if you ever seen the movie Feast by John Gulager, they kind of look like those creatures from Feast. So when I was playing through this, I was like, hey, it's the creatures from the movie Feast, and Feast is one of my all-time favorite movies, top 5 probably, at least, if not top 10. They kind of look like the creatures from Feast. So just think that if you haven't played the game, just think from the creatures from the movie by John Gulager titled Feast. Now, that's pretty much some of the new things they add. Another thing they add through the story is the new fog thing. Like, one of the characters talks about how the disease may have went airborne. I don't know if it has, but the disease may have went airborne, and by like this black ooze or a fog of some kind is now making the virus spread a lot quicker than it normally has been, and that whole thing. So, and the graphics. Let me talk about the graphics first of all. Well, before I get to that, let me talk about when you first play the game. Before you even get to the main menu, you play through like this kind of cinematic experience with Leon Kennedy's character, and I don't know if it picks up from where 4 left off, because I know the last time we seen Leon Kennedy's character was in Resident Evil 4, but now we see him again in 6, and he's like helping a girl through like this destroyed wreckage of a building or a skyscraper of some kind, and you're having to help her. And the thing I really liked about Leon Kennedy's campaign mode is the survival mode that they have brought back into the series. Resident Evil 5, I really like the game. It's a cool game, but there's a few flaws, but not too many. I really think Resident Evil 5 is a pretty great game. Resident Evil 6, I have to say, improves upon the franchise in every way that is humanly possible. The reason I say that is because they have brought back some of the survival horror aspects that Resident Evil 5 really didn't have. Resident Evil 5 was pretty much like an action overall, just action zombie game. Resident Evil 6 brings back that classic zombie horror. I mean, overall, yes, it's an action game, but they bring back those sudden, oh my god, there's zombies coming at me. I'm low on ammo, I'm having to cock my bullets, and the zombies are coming really, really close to me. They're bringing back some classic moments that I believe 5 missed out on, and I think Resident Evil 6 in the franchise really improves upon that factor, and that's one of the main reasons I really enjoyed it. But let's get to my 3 main points. First of all is the graphics. The graphics of this game are absolutely amazing. They're stunning. Everything from the character's hair moving and flowing to the shininess of their skin and their hair and their clothing. Everything looks very realistic. Just overall the graphics are just amazing thing. Lots of bright colors when needed, and then also lots of eerie, dark colors also when needed. Then, like I said, the gameplay. The gameplay is very good. Like I said, very fast-paced. You can now hug walls and shoot things out from walls. There's incendiary grenades. When you throw them, it bursts into fire. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the mechanics. One of the mainly problems with Resident Evil 5 was the overall ammo that was very hard to find. You always had a hard time finding ammo. And I think that was just one of the things with Resident Evil. It wasn't a flaw in the game. It just, that was part of the experience. It was end of the world, zombie apocalypse, and you're looking for ammo. When I Resident Evil 6, it's not really too hard to find ammo. No, I wasn't really having a hard time finding ammo really at all. I was having a little hard time finding herbs, but it's not no means. It's not a bad thing about the game. If anything, it makes the game even better. And the reason I say that is, it makes it even better because overall it gives the game a more realistic and overall just a more challenging experience that makes for a great overall experience in the game Resident Evil 6. Now the story, I kind of like the story. It's not like this cinematic masterpiece of a movie or anything. The game does its best to give you kind of a cool story, and from what I understand, the campaigns are coherent and they interconnect with all the characters. So Leon, for the first time, Kennedy meets Chris Redfield's character. I think I forget the guy's name, but the other guy, and they all connect somewhere. So the storylines, by that, what I mean is the storylines all connect in a certain area throughout the game. So you play through Chris's, and eventually his will connect with the other two. You play through Leon Kennedy's, and eventually Leon's will connect with Chris Redfield's and the other guy. I don't know about the 2 other campaigns because I haven't played them yet. From just the first chapter, Resident Evil 6, I played through Leon Kennedy's, the first chapter. of the game, I can really say that I'm really enjoying it, and I don't understand a lot of the discrimination that Resident Evil 6 the game has experienced. You know, a lot of people like IGN and stuff, they've given the game kind of a low rating and stuff. And a lot of people I watch on YouTube say they're really undersatisfied with this game, and they felt like it was a step back in the series, when I in fact think the game is a step forward in the series. And the reason I say that is because I love how they brought back the whole survival horror thing. You're looking, once again, you're having to look for keys and stuff. That's really cool, and I really like that about it. So I don't understand why this game has gotten so much backlash, I guess, for lack of a better word. I don't understand so much criticism, why this game has received so much, when in fact, don't be so picky. Enjoy the game for what it is, and overall, I honestly have no complaints the instant I started playing this game. From the graphics to the story to just the main thing that we all care about of gamers is the overall gameplay of Resident Evil 6, and that is phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. Nothing wrong with it. I love how you can kick and a roundhouse kick just at any point in time. You can just, if there's zombies coming towards you, you can just kick their heads off. And I love when shooting at them, their head just kind of fall off. Even if you're not shooting at their head, like their stomach, the head will just kind of like topple off its body. Really cool aspect. Another really cool aspect of the game is some of the zombies, like, are SWAT teams, and a lot of the zombies have guns now, so that was really cool. And some of them won't even shoot at you, so it's kind of funny. You're like having fun while you're playing, and some of the zombies will like shoot at like the walls and stuff, and they'll just kind of and they'll kind of just shoot everywhere. So that was really cool. I really like some of the unique and really, I think, innovative and creative aspects of the game that make Resident Evil 6 just a great overall Xbox 360 game experience. Anyways, that's my first impression video for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 game titled Resident Evil 6. Like I said, I'm having a great time. My first impression is I'm going to go ahead and give this game a straight 10 out of 10 with 2 huge thumbs up, because I'm loving this game, and F all the haters, right? Anyways, once again, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to my page below, and I'll see you guys later with another video by Centipede Geek.